I believed that I was worthless, that I was never going to amount to anything, that I couldn't survive on my own, that I was a loser.
Because of her verbally abusive father, Sallie Bray spent most of her childhood feeling unworthy of affection. One of the only times she felt loved was when a different family member was sexually abusing her.
I had this sick thing in my mind that what I was doing was love. I associated it with love, that this family member loved me, though I knew it was wrong. I knew it was wrong, and I carried that with me all my life.
In her teens, she used sex as a way to find love, and by 17, had married an older man. But the abuse continued, now physical, at the hand of her husband.
Sometimes the beatings were pretty severe, and I was one of those women that kept going back and kept going back. And then when my son was, I think, 4 years old, my husband had me and was dragging me around the house by my hair and was slamming me into kitchen cabinets. And my little boy was standing there screaming, "Daddy, stop." And I told myself, I can't do this anymore. This is never going to stop. Either I'm going to wind up killing him or he's going to wind up killing me.
She eventually divorced her husband and turned to stripping for a sense of power and a way to make fast money.
I felt like I had this power over men. It was, look at me, I'm somebody. I felt like somebody. You know, when you have that power, you feel like you're somebody.
Sallie ran an escort service with girls at the club that became a prostitution ring with adoring clients.
They would provide just about anything you wanted or needed for that comfort in bed, for the sex.
Cocaine fueled her sexual lifestyle until one day she had a brief moment of clarity.
I found myself locked in a bathroom and was shooting myself up. And I blacked out. And when I woke up, that needle was hanging out of my arm and blood was dripping down my arm. And I looked at myself in the mirror and I said, there's gotta be something other than this.
In her 30s, she was able to get off drugs and left the sex industry. Sallie married several more times, with each marriage ending in disappointment. In 2011, her husband took his own life while on the phone with Sallie, sending her further into a spiral of pain and emptiness.
I knew I was one drink away from going back to the hood to find crack. I knew I was a drink away from putting a crack pipe in my mouth or a needle in my arm. I felt defeated, deflated. I was done. I just wanted to die. That life just wasn't worth living, because if life was nothing but pain, why do I want to go through more pain? You know, constant pain.
Alcohol masked her pain until she met Rolland, who was a Christian, and saw Sallie's wounded heart.
Rolland told me once, he said, you know, underneath this tough exterior that you want people to see, this tough woman is really a broken person. And, excuse me, I just looked at him and I said, don't tell anybody. Because I didn't want people to know how vulnerable I really was.
Sallie agreed to go to church with Rolland, though she was afraid she would be judged and rejected. But what happened next took her by surprise.
The minute I walked in that door, I felt God. I felt Him. I felt it in those handshakes that the women would give you when you were met. And that's when God spoke. Excuse me. He said, Sallie, I know you hurt. People will fail you, but I never will. I have watched you all your life, and I love you. God spoke those words to me,
And that was that defining moment, or that aha moment, that I knew everything was going to be okay. And I was all in. When he spoke to me, it was like, he's real. God's real. He loves me.
After decades of heartbreak and despair, Sallie found the love she had always longed for when she gave her life to Jesus that day.
It was better than any drug I could have ever taken. And in all my life of drug addiction and alcoholism, and I didn't crave any of it. I didn't want any of it. It was just overnight. It was gone, you know. And I was just so full and peaceful. I was at peace, and I no longer felt worthless. I felt love. I felt love.
Sallie and Rolland soon married. They now minister together with their band Bearing Armor, pointing others to the love of God as the only way to freedom and wholeness.
That emptiness that I felt inside, those names that I called myself, were gone. Because now I'm the daughter of Christ. I'm a daughter of the King. I have a heavenly Father who loves me, and that's better than anything here on this earth.